case you need them. Here we are. So you're grieving, and it's time to love yourself. And what do I mean about that? I want to talk a little bit about the movement that I'm creating and how it can help you. Because I'm not 100% sure that everybody's getting it. And so it's such an important message. And I've been working really hard to differentiate the work that I do, the way I support people through grief in comparison to what people are used to, right? So people are used to going to a therapist who may or may not understand what grief is really like. People are used to going to church groups. People are used to going to things that are run by volunteers. And so always well-meaning people who do a lot of good, and it will help. But what I'm really working to do is find the best method, which I think I've found, to move people forward. So why am I doing that? The reason why I'm doing that is because I lost my son, as many of you know, and I was stuck for so long. I was grieving in a way that I didn't know how. I didn't know that there was a path forward. I didn't know that there were things that I should be doing to help myself. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to turn to. And I kept it all within. And I really blamed myself and said, like, what's wrong with you? When I stayed stuck in grief for a long, long time, I used to say, like, what's wrong with you? And I didn't know. I was trying to snap out of it or move on like people tell you. And one of the things that I really want to get across to you in this video today, and in the messaging, is like, it's time to choose yourself. And you have to choose yourself because you love yourself. You are the one who is grieving deeply because you loved deeply. If you're here watching YouTube videos, I can guess that you've probably lost someone important to you. Drop a comment below. Tell me who it is that you've lost so that I know, so I can call them out. I don't want people to grieve alone. And you hear that all of the time. But there's more than that. Not only do I want you to feel less lonely, I also want you to hurt less. I want to ease the pain that you're going through. If we can shorten the amount of time that these things are really challenging for you, it can make you hurt less. If you're with other people who understand what you're going through, it can make you less lonely. It's so important in grief to feel understood. And the people who are really going to understand are the people who have been through it and go, yeah, I get it. I've been through the hard moments. I've been on the other end of the phone where I feel like I've exhausted all the people that I can call and talk to, because I don't want to call them. I don't want to burden people. But like, I really need to talk. I really need somebody right now. I've been there. I've been lying awake in the middle of the night, not being able to sleep. I've been wondering if I was ever going to be happy again. I've been walking around miserable. I'm telling you, I was miserable for 2 years, and literally I lost 2 years of my life. I was so depressed that it was coming off on everybody else. I was not a happy person. We've all been in an environment with somebody that they just suck the life out of a room, even if it's just because they're sad. It's not because they're trying to do anything, but just being in the space of someone who's really sad or very anxious because of loss can be debilitating for the other people around them. And that can further isolate you, because then you're like, well, that person, they've got some issues. We don't want to really go around there because that's uncomfortable. People don't know what to do. People don't know what to say. You could drop 100 comments below of all of the terrible things that people have said to you, in efforts to try to help. I don't have to tell you what those things are because you've lived them. But what I want to do is help you hurt less, feel less lonely, give you a place where you can be understood, and then I want to empower you. I want to empower you to say that this grief is overwhelming right now, but it is not going to take me out of the game, that I am going to figure this out. I want that so much for you. And what I've noticed is that people want that sometimes, but they can't choose themselves. And it's about loving yourself. Love yourself enough to do something to support yourself. Love yourself enough to not beat yourself up and say, I'm doing something wrong. There's something wrong with me. I should be better by now. Am I going crazy? You're not going crazy. You're grieving. And grieving takes time. And when people say it should be 6 months or a year and then you should be better, and if you're in the corporate world, it's 3 days they give you to grieve and do the funeral things. And then they're like, get back to work. And that can be really hard. And so the solution is to find support. And I have created the best support that I can find with a group of people who grieve deeply, but also who love deeply, and people who want to move forward. And I want you to be part of that group with us. I want you to be able to accept your loss and say, you know what, this happened. This is the worst thing that has happened in my life. But I want to figure it out. I don't want to stay stuck and sad and stuck in guilt and anger and resentment. None of us need that in our lives. What we need is healing. What we need is feelings of peace and calm. We need to be in an environment where we can first deal with our grief and learn about it and know how to handle it, but then create real meaning in our life. Because the one thing that you are probably starting to get an inkling of is, if you've lost someone, the little things mean a lot less. And you're like, why are these people fretting over what they're going to have for dinner when my loved one is gone? And so it starts to say, well, wait a minute. Those things that I remember, there were so many things that I was like, literally, I don't give a shit about that anymore. Like, you guys can talk, you can do whatever. I really don't give a shit. And it's because the small things in our life didn't mean anything. But what that means is, like, when you give that up, you have to figure out, well, what does matter? What do you really value? Do you value spending time with your kids and your grandkids? Do you value spending time with the people in your life, with your friends? Do you value going out to lunch? And you have to make time for these things. And so it's choosing yourself, choosing to love yourself and saying, I deserve this. I deserve to be happy. Grief-inspired mantra number 1 is, I am worthy and deserving of happiness. We got to start there. And then you got to have hope, and you got to believe that we can help you. And I have people all day long who will tell you how much I've helped them. And I want that for you. I want you to be able to embrace the future that's before you. Grief can be really scary. People who have lost a spouse and their whole world is upended, and they're like, I don't know. How am I going to do this? Scary. You got to look at yourself differently. You got to figure out that you can do things that you might not want to do. You need to know where to get support. You need to know how to ask for support. You need to know how to not be taken advantage of. All of these things are big things that come with grief that we can help you with. So I want to encourage you to not do this alone. And I want you to drop a comment below. And please let me know, why have you not chosen yourself? Why have you not loved yourself enough to ask for support? To come to all of the things that I've created here at Grief Inspired. So the big things right now is I have my grief course. I want you to come to that. I want you to check it out. $4.97, 10 weeks. Starts April 1st. Come and hang out with us. Let's deal with grief. Let's move you forward. If that cost is too much, I've created a school community. We get 2 live videos a week where we all get on Zoom together and we talk it out. And we talk about what's relevant to you, where you are, how to move you forward. There's trainings in that group, things that are homework, that make you think about things, that keep you moving forward. I've never been more dedicated to wanting you to embrace your future and to finding joy in your life again. You can do this. And I want you to ask yourself, what would your loved one want for you? Would your loved one, do they think that you're worth it? Do they want you to love yourself enough to choose you? Because here's the thing. I've created all of the stuff. I have the system. I have the method. I can help. I know that. I've done it over and over and over again. And the biggest challenge that I have with all of you is, how do I get you to love yourself enough to say, I want the support. I want to lean into my grief. I want to be happy again. I want to accept the loss. I want to find meaning and purpose. I want to deal with my grief. I want to find hope. I want to move forward. If that is you, if you want to move forward, please, please, please reach out to me. If there's things that you need, I want to encourage you to drop them below. I'd love to learn about this. I'd love to know about this. Here is my challenge. Here is my struggle. I can guarantee you that if you have that struggle, there's other people that do too. And so I want you to choose yourself. I want you to love yourself enough to get the support that you need, and to let us and let me and let my community wrap their arms around you, lift you up in one of the most challenging times in your life. You can do this on your own, but I really don't want you to. And I don't want you to spend the 2 years that I spent being lonely and sad and depressed. I don't want you to lose your marriage. I lost my marriage because of my loss, because I didn't know what to do or how to handle things. I don't want that for you. I want nothing but love and meaning and purpose for your life. And why are you still here? We ask ourselves that in the beginning. Why am I here at all? Well, if you're here and you're still alive, that means you are not done. Whether you believe in God or the universe or any of the other things, spirit, why are you here? You have more to do. Let's find that meaning and purpose. Let's deal with your grief. Let's give you what you want. The time is now. Don't delay. So it's proven that if you do not act as you're watching this video, you likely won't do anything. So I want you to drop a comment below and say, I would like help. And we will jump on the phone and I'll say, here are the things. Here are our options. Let me know what you want. I'll tell you what fits best. I'll promise you what we can do for you and what we can deliver. I've done it enough to know. You just have to know what you need and what you want. And even if you don't know what you need, if you just want to move forward, I got you. My community has got you. So I want to thank you guys. Let me know what it is that you need, how I can help. I've never been more committed. This is literally the thing that keeps me up at night. How can I help more people? How can I reach that one person that is you on the other end of this video to help them choose themselves, to help them love themselves enough so that you will reach out to me and say, I do want help. I do want to be part of a community. I'm scared. I know it's scary. I do want to move forward, but I don't know how. I get it. I'm not sure where to start. My emotions are all over the place. All I do is cry all the time. I'm not sleeping. I'm eating too much. I'm not eating enough. I can't let this guilt go. I'm so angry. I don't know what to do. I resent the people around me who tell me just to get over it and move forward. I resent the people who tell me that I should just be better by now. It's time to love yourself. This is the day and age when you can do more remotely, right? I loved my retreat, getting to be in the same physical environment with people, because you can feel that energy in a way that's, I can feel energy through the camera, but I don't think everybody can. But being in a space with people, that is incredible. But there is so much that we can do online here too, virtually. You don't have to leave your house. You could stay in your pajamas. And you can still get support. You can still love yourself. You can still choose you. If you're not choosing yourself, I want you to ask why. People all the time say it's money. Well, $40 to get into the school community, I don't buy it. If you really wanted to be in there, you could. I want to help. If you are a person that also would like the help, I've got you. Reach out to me. Let's do this thing together. Next grief course starts April 4th. If you want to get in that, let me know. Let's just keep going. Let's do this together. Last thing, I want you to show you one of the things that I do in the grief course, because we're virtual here and I can't actually reach through the camera and hug you, which is what I would want to do for all people who are grieving. I just wish I could hug everyone. But what you can do is you can take your right hand, you can stick it under your left armpit, and you can take your left hand and you can wrap it around yourself. And you can take a deep breath and you can feel the pressure squeeze. When you feel that pressure, know that there are people who care. There are people who love you. There are people who are counting on you. There are people who want you to move forward. And I want to be that person to help. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Watch all of my YouTube videos to give you the freest support that there is. And when you are ready to love yourself more, I want you to reach out to me and let's get started. And remember, if you don't do it now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Mel Robbins might not happen. So choose you now. Bye, everybody.